This is a BTNN breaking news story. God's Son changes everything. This is Eric Jones with the Bible Times News Network. We've been tracking the developments around the temple in Jerusalem after the return of Jesus to heaven. As we have reported, many Jews began to believe in Jesus Christ, and the word is spreading to new communities that Jesus is alive. Jewish leaders tried to stop the new believers from spreading the good news, namely, Jesus is God, that he rose from the dead, defeated sin and death, that he sent the Holy Spirit to live inside of us, and that everyone can become Christ's child. It has been declared among this community that God's Son has changed everything. But newly developing today and continuing to develop is now our top story. Saul, a Jewish leader who was well known for rounding up Jesus followers and bringing them to Jerusalem for trial and even killing followers of the way for saying that Jesus was God, has himself experienced an amazing change of heart. Some aren't surprised because they believe, as one observer put it, that God's Son changes everything. Several days ago, Saul traveled to Damascus to capture believers and was struck blind. One eyewitness said, "Suddenly, a light from heaven flashed around. It was so bright, everyone had to look away. When the light went away, Saul was on the ground and he could not see." What is truly amazing is Saul's own testimony as to what happened. Saul told BTNN, "Jesus spoke to me. He told me to stop persecuting him. He told me he was God, and then he said he went blind." Saul continued with his testimony. "Everything I had seen and known before was gone in the flash of a bright light. Everything in my life has been turned upside down. Jesus is God, and now that I know, it has changed everything." But Saul remained blind. Sources close to the situation told BTNN that 3 days later, God used a man named Ananias, a believer himself, to return Saul's eyesight. Ananias states that he was fearful since Saul had been a dangerous man. But Ananias went to Saul. When he laid his hands on Saul's eyes, it said that something like scales fell from his eyes and he could see again. Then Saul got up and was baptized. It's now coming into the newsroom that Saul was so changed by Jesus that he changed his name to Paul and is fearlessly and effectively declaring the truths of the gospel. The only explanation that those who have seen this can offer is that God's Son changes everything. Stay tuned for more late breaking developments. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.